Hi, I'm Veronica Vance. Coming up, we get geared up for the largest auto show in the country. We show you a ton of fun winter activities to do in the D. And then, hey, it's winter and the zoo is open, so we check out the butterflies. Stay tuned.
Production funding for this program was made possible by the Detroit Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau, driving tourism growth in Metro Detroit since 1896. More information is available at visitdetroit.com.
Well, we've taken you here before to the North American International Auto Show, but every time we bring you back, it gets even more amazing because it's the chance to see the auto designers' visions of the future at the largest auto show in the country. Well, I can't get over the size of this. This reminds me of being over in Europe. So what do you think of this? The Bentley in purple. I mean, they do say purple is the color of royalty. This is the BMW Roadster. I think this is my first time on an actual motorcycle. But what's cool about it, it's got a drive shaft. There's no chain. This is a bad bike. So this is pretty unique. This is Tesla, and this is the trunk of a Tesla that has seats in the trunk. And so up in the front, where the engine normally be, they've got the storage space in the front. How did the auto show feel about coming into the redesigned Kobo?
Well, I think the auto show was a prime mover in getting this project going. The Detroit Regional Convention Facilities Authority was started, and in 5 years, they have done all of this work that you see when you come to Kobo. There are all the changes on the south end, the new ballroom, the new meeting rooms, the atrium, the huge large format video screens at the corner of Congress and Washington, plus adding an even larger format video board on the front of the building facing east up Jefferson that will be 120 by 60 feet. And that's going to add a very different look to the front of the building.
That's hard to even wrap my head. Oh, that's going to be so cool. It's like Times Square in Detroit.
Very much. In Detroit, that's the idea.
Has the response just been, oh my gosh, this is so wonderful to come in here and set it up and just, I mean, what's the response been?
Well, I think not just for the exhibitors, because it's a much better facility to work in.
Yeah.
It's allowed the auto show to have more suppliers involved because they use all the meeting rooms. Every square inch of Kobo during preview week is used by suppliers in addition to the exhibits that people see on the floor. Centerplate, our catering partner, doing an incredible job.
Yeah.
They served about 140,000 individual servings last week during the preview week and did it flawlessly, and the food court is a big success. In fact, if you add it all up, that preview week is the equivalent of 3 concerts at the Joe and 2 Tiger games in terms of the number of people that are here. And then we open to the public.
Wow.
And so the next 9 days, you draw the attendance equivalent of an entire Lions home game schedule. We work on a staggered schedule. We stagger out at night, and then we stagger back in early in the morning and keep it going day to day. But, you know, the new environment has really fired up the staff. They really enjoy being part of this very important project for Detroit. And to have it associated with the comeback and the really the rebirth of the auto show. We've stayed 100% operational during this construction period. And from the time the renovation has started, we've tripled the number of national conventions coming to Kobo and tripled our annual revenue at the same time. So here comes the parade, which is...
now the parade's a daily occurrence for the public.
Our friends from the parade company are involved, and Detroit Police Department.
Just like we're on a main street. I love the behind-the-scenes perspective you've given. It really puts it all into perspective, all the hard work that goes into it. But you know, I'm going to go explore because I've got my eye on a car that I want to go see, and I think it's right, the Ford GT.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it's a nice car. That's a nice car. Thanks for talking.
Like I just told Tom, I'm going to head into Fordland because they had the big surprises here, the big showstopper. Not even everybody at Ford knew that this was going to be unveiled. And it's the car over there with a huge crowd around it. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm on my way. So this is the 2017 Ford GT, and can you believe that this car is actually going to be in production? That's why all these people around here are salivating. I mean, they're dreaming big, right? It has a 600 horsepower. I don't know where you're going to get a chance to go that fast, but it's on my wish list, and I'll take it in blue. So this is the Innovation Park. You got these cool little top chairs. It's pretty fun. So I'm in the Lincoln area right now, and I'm going to tell you the exhibit really screams luxury. And this beauty behind me is the Lincoln MKX, and it's their mid-size luxury crossover. It's the largest growing segment in the auto industry, and this is a real beauty behind me. We're going to see a lot of these on the road.
I'm trying to see everything I can.
Oh, you've been all over. So you have any favorites so far?
I like that Bentley.
Oh,
Yeah. I like that.
We saw that one too.
Yeah,
That's nice.
The convertible one. Dream
We
car.
can dream big, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, have fun. So this cutie behind me is the Chevrolet Bolt, not to be confused with their current Volt. And it's a concept car that's going to be able to go 200 miles on one charge. And that's over 4 times more than they currently can do now. So I mean, it's really the wave of the future. Plug it in and go 200 miles. So this beauty behind me is the Cadillac CTS, and it's their answer to compete in the luxury European market. 640 horsepower, goes up to 200 miles an hour, sleek, and it just screams luxury, huh?
I've had a wonderful day, and I met people from Idaho, and they were wonderful. They love Detroit. Kobo has a great improvement, and I have a lot of favorite cars that I like.
And of course, an area that's always full of excitement is the Dodge Charger area, all the muscle cars, and behind me they've got it up so you can get a good look at that Dodge Hemi engine. It's just beautiful. So you think you can handle the Dodge Charger 707 horsepower? You get a chance. Look at it's a simulator. Do you have any favorites?
It was my first time ever coming to an auto show.
Oh, what'd you think?
I love it.
You love
It's
it,
very
yeah.
interesting, yeah.
It's fun. You get to get in the cars, and you know, it's like no pressure, no sales pressure. You can kind of see what you want.
Right.
Yeah.
We're
All
headed
right.
to Acura right now to see the new NSX.
Yeah, that's a big showstopper this year.
It's awesome. I'm really enjoying seeing the cars, talking to some of the reps from the different companies and stuff. The features on the new cars are awesome.
Well, that's it. The D has done it again. They brought an international crowd to the heart of downtown Detroit in the middle of January for the North American International Auto Show. may be winter here in the D, but there are plenty of things to do, both inside and out, like in our surrounding communities of Metro Detroit, like right here in Northville. There are plenty of things to do. There's shopping, or you can drop into one of the many restaurants and coffee shops and spend a carefree day. Or head outside and take advantage of all the recreational activities. And if you like to hit the slopes, we've got skiing too. Take a look. This is where all the runs converge.
Yep. This is the top of Pine Knob.
Wow, you can see
Yep, exactly. Right down there is downtown Detroit in that area.
So a clear day, you could see Detroit?
Absolutely. You can see the skyline of Detroit from here, no problem. This is the highest point in Oakland County. You can get to about 12 or 15 runs from where we're standing right here at the top of the mountain. The blue runs, the more difficult runs, and of course the black runs are the most difficult runs. So there's a race hill, there's the mogul field, there's the wall, and several other, black or expert sort of runs that you can access from here, as well as the intermediate runs.
This will be my next step.
That's correct. That's correct. Once you get comfortable with the beginner runs where we were this morning, we would take the chair and come on up here, and this would be the run. And you see the bottom flattens out. So it's a nice, long, intermediate run.
Okay.
Nice and wide at the bottom. It's a beautiful place to practice.
Now, if you want to stay indoors and shopping is on your mind, the Renaissance Center in downtown Detroit is full of stores to get lost in, from men's clothing to women's boutiques and everything in between. And they've got 4 screens which show first-run movies, all in a contemporary and ultra-comfy setting. Some of my favorite things to do on a cold winter's day is to spend some time inside one of our uniquely Detroit museums and attractions. Like Pewabic Pottery, it's the perfect place to get that Detroit vibe, and don't forget to take home a little piece of Detroit.
You'll see that we actually use historic equipment to make our own clay. We make our own glazes, and our artists use very, very much of the handcrafted technique that our founder, Mary Chase Perry Stratton, founded 101 years ago. This is a wonderful place to come and see what professional ceramic artists do for a living. It's a real nice snapshot on there.
Teresa, this is beautiful. I love the color scheme.
Isn't it great?
Question, can you, besides being a work of art, it looks like you could actually use this.
Oh yes, much of what we sell is functional. This is meant to be used. It feels good in your hand.
Yeah.
And look, she even has it designed in such a way so that you can hold your thumb there, and it feels
it's
very
comfortable. Yes.
Exactly. Again, see, here's a beautiful crystalline glaze.
Yeah. No,
and
so
this
area,
is functional. This is all functional.
And this area changes then?
Absolutely. We restock our artist's work, gosh, probably every 2 months. So there's always something new to come and see. Yes.
Now, Detroiters love history, whether you're talking about the auto industry, art, culture, science, politics, or engineering. We've got museums and attractions that cover it all and make for a great educational as well as fun way for you and the family to get out and explore. One of my favorite exhibits is the Heroes of the Sky exhibit at the Henry Ford.
Said you wanted to walk on the wing of a plane.
Yeah, I do. I'm
Here you go, right here. Nice and close to the pilot, so you're all safe.
Wind.
And you've got the wind in your hair.
This
and you can lean out a little bit. Let go of the. You've got this down pat.
As long as you're strapped on.
All right. Should we see what else is in store for us in the exhibit?
Yeah.
Let's go. We're in the inventor zone, and this is where you meet people like the Wright brothers and Igor Sikorsky.
Igor Sikorsky.
Sikorsky is actually a great testament to the spirit of inventors.
Oh, okay.
It took him 30 years to perfect his aircraft, his helicopter. After trying multiple different ways, it was a success.
So now, if you want to stay on the science track, you've got to head on over to the Cranbrook Institute of Science.
It's an Institute of Science. We take the scientific approach to studying those things, and we help you not only understand it, we actually help you do it. We have a lot of material that's a great deal of fun for children and their parents and their friends to come because they can look at it, they can see different things, and they can talk about it. And that's part of the excitement of a museum, is where you get to have that sort of social discussion about the objects you see. The entire area would probably be about 45,000 square feet. But of course it's laid out in circles and paths and patterns, and you can double back and forth on it. So just to see what we've got, if they didn't even want to take an opportunity to go in and see live bats, or to watch one of the most exciting planetarium shows, or to go down and see some of our always changing, exciting exhibits brought from all over the world, they probably would need to devote about an hour and a half to it.
Of course, history includes some of the worst in human behaviors, but the worst of these can hopefully inspire and teach us to never allow these atrocities to happen again. The Holocaust Memorial Center in Farmington provides a deeply moving experience, and it's a super important museum to visit.
When the war was brought to a close and the liberators came into the camps with the media and photographs, the world could no longer deny what was going on.
So this is again showing the liberation.
What the liberators found when they came into the camps.
So when we leave the abyss, we're
walking up out of the darkness towards this memorial flame, which we like to think of as a symbol of hope.
Well, Donna, this is again a very powerful ending. The numbers of murdered Jews in each country, it's mind-boggling.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Well, Donna, thank you. Thank you. Very enlightening look.
Come again.
I will. These are just a few suggestions on ways to spend a cold winter's day in the D. But the main thing is to think of the D as a great playground regardless of the weather. So bundle up, get on out there and discover all the D has to offer. There are plenty of things to see and do in Metro Detroit this month, and our calendar of events is up next to point you in the right direction. Legends is a clever comedy at Meadowbrook Theater, and the Ultimate Fishing Show drops anchor in Novi. See spectacular ice sculptures at Plymouth Ice Festival, and the Auto Show rolls into Cobo to debut the latest designs. Make a new friend during Sesame Street Live, then enjoy winter fireworks at Rochester's Fire and Ice Festival. Cirque du Soleil gets inspired by the movie Avatar, and City Theater gets invaded by a sexy, fast-paced comedy. Explore Comerica Park, see the players and more at Tigerfest, and don't miss the Blue Man Group at the Macomb Center. The real-ish housewives of Oakland County come to the Fisher, and the Home Improvement Show teaches you how to fix it yourself. Get your blues on during Ferndale's Blues Festival. Then watch giant trucks getting crushed at Monster Jam. To learn of any changes, log on to visitdetroit.com or call 1-800-DETROIT. Most people think of the Detroit Zoo as a natural place to visit in the summertime, but what about when it's cold outside? Well, if you come on a sunny day, the butterflies will be out in full force at the Hummingbird and Butterfly Garden as part of the Wildlife Interpretive Gallery here at the Detroit Zoo.
This is really one of the first year-round butterfly facilities at a zoo in North America with exotic butterflies that we have in here.
That's a really neat concept, and when it's cold outside, you come in here and warm up. I mean, what do you keep it at, a constant 80 degrees or so?
Yeah, we try to keep it at 80, you know, and it's a pretty high humidity.
Yeah.
We try to maintain kind of a informal garden setting in here. The building's primarily managed for butterflies.
Okay.
So we do have about 100 different species of butterflies that could be in here throughout the year. At any one time, we probably have maybe 30 to 40. All our butterflies come from Costa Rica and from El Salvador.
Okay.
So depending on when the butterflies emerge in those countries, depends on what species we would have in here.
Oh, okay.
So there is some fluctuation seasonally as far as species selection. And we also have hummingbirds in here. We do have 3 species of hummingbirds, 4 hummingbirds.
Oh.
And all our hummingbirds originally came from Peru.
Okay.
Why don't we go over here and I'll show you where we get them when they come in.
Great, all right.
The butterfly's life cycle, you know, of course, they start out as eggs, and then they hatch out as caterpillars.
Right.
Then they eventually form chrysalis. We pin them up here, and they'll start emerging. As you can see, there's quite a few butterflies here that have emerged out since this morning.
Yeah.
And then 2 or 3 times a day, we'll go in here and we'll gather them up with a net, and then we'll bring them out here and release them. Most of these butterflies live about 2 weeks.
Hello, welcome to the garden.
And there they go, out looking for nectar. They feed on nectar from flowering plants. However, a few of the species that we have here tend to like ripe fruit.
And you said this is connected to...
Yes, this goes into aviary, so if you want to walk out there, we can walk into what we call our free flight aviary, so you're walking amongst a number of different bird species. So this is our aviary. We have about 30 different species of mostly tropical birds in here, and about 150 to 180 birds at any one time in this building.
Oh, wow.
So a lot
and
of
they
people
just fly around.
And they just fly around. Yep, they're all free ranging.
I hear some really loud ones. What are we hearing right now?
These are our scarlet macaws.
Scarlet macaws?
Yep, which is obviously a parrot. A parrot can live 50 to 80 years.
Wow.
We've had these guys since the early 80s.
Oh my goodness.
So they've been with us for quite a few years.
Wow.
And what we use to count our birds and make sure all our birds are doing as well is we give them treats. We use mealworms.
Worms.
And it's almost like candy to a bird. This tends to get these birds to come down. And these are like treats to them. So this allows the keepers to really kind of inventory the birds. And we use this little clicker. And the birds hear that clicker, they know, well, there's mealworms out here.
Ooh,
so
candy.
they'll swing on down and grab some of their treats. As you can see, we
look at
already
that.
have quite a few different. This is a swallow tanager here.
Oh, beautiful.
He was actually raised in the free flight or in the butterfly house. We have a pair of swallow tanagers in that building. He was actually raised in that building. It's perfect in the winter to come out here because it's not very crowded and you tend to get a lot of personal interactions this time of year.
Very, very cool. Come on and eat your candy. Don't be afraid of us. So having this many different types of species of birds, how do they all get along?
So we're able to really kind of tailor the species that we have in here to birds that we think are going to be really compatible to the rest of the group in here.
Well, Tom, I want to thank you so much for showing me around.
My pleasure. I'm glad you came out, and I want to encourage everybody to come out and visit the zoo during the winter or during the summer. So.
Yeah, and as Tom pointed out, there are a lot of great places to go to. Thanks again, Tom.
My pleasure. Bye.
Things are happening in Detroit that are going to reinvent the American city.
Those of us who have been here a long time can tell you that it's never been more vibrant.
And it really represents the future, what the future can be and what the future is becoming.
Let's start at 5 a.m. We have joggers that are running through our state park, that are running on the riverfront.
I kind of like that Detroit has its own vibe right now. Like, it's awesome to be Chicago and it's awesome to be New York, but we kind of have like this underdog thing going on.
Visitors come in from out of town and they absolutely adore the city of Detroit.
When they get here, what they see is different than what they've come to expect.
I've been all over the country, and downtown Detroit is as safe as anywhere I've been.
If people don't feel safe, then we haven't done our job.
We have actually increased patrols in the downtown area.
We beefed up units, we brought units back.
We collaborate on safety just like we do on development, and so Project Lighthouse is an example of that. We have 35 different entities that all collaborate together to make sure that we are working together to identify any problems, to be there for somebody that needs help.
You have a lot of people, especially our generation, who are doing everything we can to build it up.
So in a way it feels like being in a kind of lively college town in the middle of Detroit.
It's really a very compact downtown and a very exciting one because it has so much great architecture, great cultural institutions.
Lots of restaurants, coffee shops. Just walking, there's tours to do, there's museums to see, art.
We've got Campus Martius Park, one of the best urban parks in the United States.
The DIA, the Cultural Center.
We have a farmer's market.
It's easy to get from here to Campus Martius to Greektown, just walk all over the place.
The Fox Theater, the DAC.
There is so much to do in this city, and it's not like every other city.
All of us in downtown Detroit recognize that safety is the key to everything.
Come to Detroit and see for yourself.
You gotta see it to believe it. Well, that's our show. Thanks for watching. I'm Veronica Vance. And remember, if you would like more information on any of the places we visited, log on to visitdetroit.com. So until I see you next time, go out and explore on your own and discover the D.
To learn about discounts and special offers for featured attractions, plus how to get copies of Visit Detroit magazine, click on visitdetroit.com.
Production funding for this program was made possible by the Detroit Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau, driving tourism growth in Metro Detroit since 1896. More information is available at visitdetroit.com.